Secret Diary of a Call Girl Chapter 9, The Alternate Ending. Hannah. Later that night, I was hosting a celebration party. I'd done my hair and makeup for the first time in over a month and had to admit that I was looking good. I invited all of my friends over: Ben, Stephanie, Liam, and Sylvia, Bambi and Byron, and Charlotte. Gwen had buggered off without an explanation, but the show must go on. The wine flowed freely and the music blared. We had a lot to celebrate. After half a dozen or so glasses of wine I was a little tipsy, but it felt good, freeing. I'd been so tense for so long and I hadn't even realized it. I found Bambi at the buffet table and gave her a hug. "Congratulations, babes," she said, smiling broadly. "Thanks, Bambi. I still can't believe he confessed to it all like that." "Nor me. What the hell was that about?" "I dunno." I shrugged. "I guess, in his own sick and twisted way, he loves me. Whatever. The guy is an absolute nutter. Thank God he's behind bars now." "Yeah." I sipped my wine. "So, when are you due?" I asked, changing the subject. "Not for a few more months." She rubbed her big belly. "Not that you can tell by looking at me. I look rubbish." "You look beautiful." I stroked her cheek. "Thanks." She grinned. "Well, I'd better get back to Byron. I'm so happy for you." "Me, too." I gave her another squeeze. I watched Bambi fade away and smiled. All of my friends were living the lives they wanted. But what about me? What did I want? I can't lie and say that I haven't missed escorting. But maybe I got raped for a reason. Maybe it was a way to get out of it all before I'm forced out. Charlotte passed by, a wicked gleam in her eye. "I was wrong about you, you know," she said. "You were?" "Yes." "You're not a pathetic, sniveling idiot. You're a bloody Amazon. Way to go." "Thanks." I felt a hand on my elbow and turned. A month ago, it would have given me a heart attack, but now, knowing that I'm safe, it didn't bother me. Charlotte excused herself. "Ben." "Hey, Han." He kissed me on the cheek. "You were amazing today." "Thanks." I felt my cheeks flush. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" He nodded toward the kitchen. "Sure." I took his hand and led the way into the kitchen. "What's up?" "I just wanted to say that I am so proud of you, Han." "What for?" "For everything. You've overcome so much and it's amazing. I couldn't have done it without you." "I don't know about that, but..." "No, I mean it." I squeezed his hands. "You are the best thing in my life, Ben. I'm so glad that we were able to work things out." "Me, too. Now you can have a real life again. That is, if you've decided to pack in escorting." I chewed my lip. "I don't know, Ben." "Well, I just assumed that after everything, you wouldn't want to go back to it. I've thought long and hard about it since that night and..." I trailed off, wishing those bad memories away. "I just can't do it anymore." "Really?" His tone was hopeful. "As much as I once loved it, it's not who I am anymore." All of this has changed me. I want a normal life. I don't want to have to worry about it happening again. And I can't have all that if I'm still an escort. Oh, Han. He threw his arms around me. I melted into his arms. It felt so good to be in Ben's arms again. He pulled back and our eyes met. I felt myself leaning toward him, my lips inches from his. No. A voice inside me screamed. He's with Gwen. You can't. But the heart wants what the heart wants. Our lips pressed together and I felt the familiar fireworks. I'd been fighting my feelings for Ben for months now, and I just couldn't do it anymore. He wasn't just my best friend, he was the love of my life, the only person I've ever let in. We belonged together. We broke the kiss and laughed. Sorry, I said, my lips tingling from the kiss. No. It's all right. He chuckled. I've been waiting so long for that. You have. My heart lifted. But what about Gwen? I love her, but, not like I love you, Hannah. It's you. It's always been you. I love you so much. Oh, Ben. I gasped, falling into his arms. I'd never imagined that he'd say those words to me again. Not after what I'd done to him. I just have one question. Yet. I felt my stomach knot up. What could he possibly want to know? Will you marry me, Hannah? Oh, my God. My hand flew to my chest and I felt the hot sting of tears. Tears of joy. Ben knelt down and pulled a black ring box out of his pocket. He opened it and presented me a beautiful, tear-cut diamond ring. It sparkled in the light. What do you say? He pressed, his eyes wide. Yes. I cried. Yes, Ben. I will marry you. He slipped the ring onto my finger and I jumped into his arms. He spun me around and I couldn't stop laughing. I was finally getting my happy ending. The one that I'd never even known I'd wanted. I guess fairy tales do come true. 6 months later. The church was crowded as I made my way down the aisle. The wedding march played and I smiled at everyone as I passed by. All of my friends were there, even Bambi with her new daughter, my goddaughter. She was my maid of honor. My father caught my eye and I couldn't help but see a tear of joy sparkling in the inky depths. Jackie sat by my mother, her arms folded across her chest in a huff. Apparently, she still hadn't forgiven me. We approached the altar and after hugging my dad, I went up the 2 steps and linked my arm through Ben's. He looked handsome in a black suit, his hair slicked back. I squeezed his hand and waited for the minister to begin. The music died out and the minister began a speech about the sanctity of marriage and all that. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get married to Ben. We stared into each other's eyes and got lost, grateful to have found each other again despite everything that had happened to us. I'd never pictured in a million years that I'd be getting married and certainly not to Ben, but now that it was happening, I couldn't imagine my life any other way. The minister asked us to recite our vows. Ben cleared his throat and took both of my hands in his. Han, you are the kindest, gentlest, most caring woman I have ever met. You're my best friend, and I'm so glad that I get to spend the rest of my life with you. You bring so much joy into my life. And I promise that I will always take care of you and honor you not only as my best friend, but as my wife. I grinned and started my vows. What can I say, Ben? You've been there for me through everything. You're my rock, my support. I don't know how I'd manage without you. My eyes teared up and I felt my throat constrict. I'm so thankful that you've stuck with me all these years because without you, my life would be nothing. You're the most important person in my life and I am deeply honored to be called your wife. I promise to love you forever. The minister nodded and began the final part of the ceremony. Do you, Ben, take this woman, Hannah, to be your wife? To honor and cherish, in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live. I do, Ben replied, slipping the ring onto my finger. And do you, Hannah, take this man, Ben, to be your husband? To honor and to cherish, in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live. I do. I fit the ring around Ben's finger. Then I pronounce you two married in the eyes of God. You may kiss. Ben enveloped me in a passionate kiss, dipping me down. I laced my fingers through his hair, never wanting it to end. Our families clapped, throwing confetti and glitter into the air. When the kiss ended, we turned to the crowd. Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Fraser. The crowd enveloped into excited clapping again. Ben and I made our way down to greet them. Sure, there are things I will miss about my life as an escort. The money, the excitement, the twisted fantasies. But what I have now is so much better than all of that. I've got a man who loves me, a wonderful new career as an author, and most importantly, a baby on the way. The doctor told me it's a boy. Ben and I are going to name it Ashok. And somewhere up above, I know that my old friend Ashok is watching over me, smiling. For the first time in my life I'm happy. I'd never thought I'd get here, but I have. And now, after everything, I wouldn't trade it for the world. This is who I am now, a wife and mother. What could be better than that?